Sugar Hill Music Festival taking place this weekend in Harlem, and it'll be paying tribute to a black music pioneer who played alongside some greats, Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Thelonious Monk. Take a listen.
Got a little bit of a listen there. Jazz saxophonist Coleman Hawkins was a star soloist who honed his skills right here in Harlem, where his legacy will now be on permanent display thanks to the work of our next guest, cultural historian Ms. Karen Taylor. So good morning, Karen. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk about the organization that you founded, While We Are Still Here, and it's basically to preserve Harlem's history. Can you tell us why you felt that that was so important to create?
Well, because of the changing demographics that are happening in Harlem, the shifting populations. I've lived at 555 Edgecombe Avenue for almost 40 years. Wow. And when I first moved there, I would see these elderly people and they would say, you know, Paul Robeson lived in the penthouse and Joe Louis lived there. And Lena Horne would come to the building to visit him, and Count Basie lived there. I mean, it was just this incredible space. And our sister building, 409 Edgecombe, was home to W.E.B. Du Bois and Thurgood Marshall and Jimmy Lunsford, and, you know, just an extraordinary cross-section of Black America. And so that's why it's really important for While We Are Still Here to help codify that history and to make sure that when there are fewer and fewer African-American people there, the Markers Project and While We Are Still Here will let people know this is what we did, this is what we accomplished.
Well, let's talk about the Markers Project too, right? Because you're going to be unveiling tomorrow this historic marker honoring Coleman Hawkins. How did you go about the selection process for Mr. Hawkins to receive one of the markers?
Okay, pre-pandemic, we started, you know, trying to figure out which markers where. And we had a session at the library, the George Bruce Library on 125th Street, and people came and we had a facilitator, and we kind of figured out like just this kind of broad picture of like 50 markers that we had to kind of whittle down to 25 markers. And so that's how we came up with Coleman Hawkins and others.
And who are some of the others that you are honoring?
Okay, one is Malcolm X. The Faith Temple Church is where his funeral was, and that's a very important spot for Black America because Ossie Davis eulogized Malcolm X, calling him our Black Shining Prince, which he was. And also at 437 West 162nd Street, there's a marker for J. Rosamond Johnson, who composed Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I could go on and on.
Yeah. What exactly does a marker look like?
Oh my gosh, I wish I would have known you were going to ask me that. I would have brought a picture. It's gorgeous. It'll be on a pole.
Okay.
The pole is approximately 5 feet high. The 36 by 24, 3 feet by 2 feet. You can't miss it. It's purple and gold. Okay,
Oh,
you can't miss it. So. Yeah.
What are you really hoping that folks will take away from this? And what has been the response to folks knowing that this is going to be happening and there will be this recognition all throughout Harlem?
I want people to understand the rich African-American contribution to the community that we've called Harlem. I mean, Harlem is known for the Harlem Renaissance and Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston, but there were so many other things that happened in Harlem that, you know, were offshoots from the Harlem Renaissance. And so we just want to make sure that people understand exactly what happened in Harlem.
Yeah, I think those historic markers are so important to tell the story that people don't know. I mean, if you walk through Central Park too, right, there's the historic markers of Seneca Village and things like that, that people may not know what they're walking through and what once was there.
Absolutely.
So this is an ongoing project, right? Or going to be over 2 years. And so how many markers will there be in total?
25 markers total. Okay. And toward the end of this month, we will have an installation schedule. But we're still moving forward with the presentations, the public presentations of these particular markers. We have the markers and by the end of the month, we'll have a schedule
Great.
as to when they'll be installed.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having
It's
me.
wonderful to listen to you talk about all the,
Yes.
the wonderful history of Harlem. So thanks again.
And you can check out the Sugar Hill Music Festival tomorrow. It will kick off with the